I have survived over 50 anime conventions, and I say survived for a reason. That might not make sense at first, because while many of us think of anime conventions as just a warehouse full of body pillows and Kirito swords and My Hero cosplayers, that's really just the dealer's room, which is hardly the most interesting thing about a convention. There is a ton more to do at anime conventions, and I'm not just talking about the hot girls in cosplay. Or the hot boys in cosplay.
You like boys.
Nuh-uh.
In fact, most of what you do at a con isn't even really about the con itself, and it's definitely not something that you would expect from a nerd like me. So, what is it about cons that make them so much fun? And what is it about cons that make them a matter of survival? Well, if you're going to your first anime convention soon and you want to know how to survive, or you're just wondering how mentally unwell you have to be to subject yourself to 50 of them, this is Anime Conventions, an honest guide. But hang on. If cons really are a matter of survival, then why should you put your survival in my hands? Why? Because
Believe it!
time. I've been to over 50 anime conventions, as stated, but also I've been going to cons for over 10 years. In case you're wondering what happened 10 years ago, Filthy Frank released his video on weeaboos.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
And about 8 years ago, Gigguk actually made this exact same video, but that's besides the point. Here's another reason that you should trust me. Variety. I've been to comic conventions.
I'm the Joker, baby!
I have been to anime conventions. And better yet, I have been to... No, oh, God. That is Sonic Fox, okay? He is a gamer. I know what it looks like, but he's not a... Well, he is, but it's a gaming convention. I don't go to those other kinds of conventions very often. Anyways, here's another reason that you should trust me. I am a cosplayer. If I can make it around a con with a 7-foot greatsword, or shirtless, or even in stripper heels, I can teach you how to survive a con. Trust me. Now that I have a responsibility that I'm not entirely sure I can actually handle, here's the answer to the question that you probably actually asked first, which is, what is there to do at a convention? Like, what are you going to be doing for an entire weekend? Well, while the Black Plague of 2020 may have ended up shutting down many bookstores and card shops and even game stores, cons offer a solution. What is that solution? Well, cons have places to play games. Cons also have places to watch anime. Cons even have places to buy stuff, including manga, artwork, anime merch, even traditional Japanese weapons, and, of course, waifus, which may come in the form of body pillows or figures, both of which will probably end up getting soaked in the same substance, but I digress. I forgot that slide was there. You know how cons are social spaces? Well, cons are also parasocial spaces, and gamers love that I mean, cons always have guests, and that can range from voice actors to streamers, even a few, like, real mainstream celebrities, and oftentimes you'll have the chance to go to one of their panels. A panel is basically like an in-real-life stream, but we'll talk more about that later. For now, just know that, I actually met Neil Newbin at Dragon Con in 2024, and in case you didn't know, that's Asterion. Not bad, huh? In these fleeting, minuscule achievements, I search for but a scrap of validation.
Hearts are built to break.
Now that I've hopefully convinced you that you want to go to a con, we have to talk about our first real survival challenge, which is getting a room. What makes this such a survival challenge is money. In most places in the world, it requires money to feed yourself and have a roof over your head, and con hotels are expensive, and when your roommates decide that they don't want to go to the con 2 weeks before the con happens, you're gonna be double. Anyways, assuming that you actually have the money for the room, now you need to just get your hands on it. Shouldn't be too hard, right? It is. It is very difficult. You want to know why? Because you want the host hotel. This isn't going to be easy. So, you decided that you want to stay in the host hotel. No, you deserve to stay in the host hotel. You are going to stay in the host hotel, and this won't be easy. But we never back down. We never give up. So let's do this. Here's how we're going to do this. We want to find out the launch date for the hotel at least 7 months ahead of time. We are going to find our roommates in advance. Also, save up the full price for the hotel room because you don't want your card to bounce when you go to buy this hotel room. And then, on the launch date, go to the convention website. From there, you will find the hotel website. And then watch that clock. Then, when the time comes, just refresh the page and you can book the... Unfortunately, this hotel has no availability for the selected date. What do you mean? The rooms didn't even launch a minute ago. This is like graphics cards. What was I supposed to do? You know what? Fine. Don't go to the convention. Stay in your car. I don't care. You know what? I need something to take my anger out. I'll be back.
A few minutes later.
Well, that didn't work.
6.5 hours later.
I have a new plan, and cons have backup plans too. Because there's more than just the host hotel, and they're good hotels. The host hotel usually is pretty convenient because it's actually attached to the convention center, meaning that you can just take an elevator up to your room, refill on snacks, drinks, any other substances that you choose to partake in. But really, any hotel that's associated with a con is going to be very convenient. Now, I do have a few rules of thumb for booking a hotel room, the first of which is about room capacity. Now, this may look a little cramped, and it is only 4 people, and 2 of them are children, but the minimum wage hasn't changed since 2008, and we work with what we have, and there's usually a bathtub and a floor and a balcony, so 8 people should be just fine. Just get a little creative with it. You got this. Now, finding roommates isn't actually too difficult, I think. All you have to do is go to your friends, your family, and see if they're interested in going. But if you're really struggling to find roommates, you can just send this to, well, every contact in your phone and just say, "Hi, I'm going to an anime convention. I know it's been a while. How's your mom? Anyways, you should come with. We have to split a bed, but that's all good. I'm not gay or anything. Anyways, let me know if you want more info. Please." And now it's just a waiting game until the con. Make sure that you start your cosplay at least a month ahead of time. I know that doesn't sound like a lot of time, and it's not. I just usually start my cosplay a week before the con. Do as I say, not as I do.
Many months later.
Welcome. You have arrived at the con, safe and sound despite Matt's driving. Your goal for the first day is going to be to get your badge. Sounds pretty easy, right? And it is. All you have to do is find the badge line. It'll look something like this. And then after a short wait, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 hours.
1 eternity later.
Once you show them your QR code, you should have the badge and you are ready to go. Oh, and before you leave the badge pickup area, I do recommend writing your name and your number on your wallet and your badge and your phone. Just in case you lose anything, you'll get a call.
Hello, this is Kitty.
I'm over here stroking my...
I do recommend putting a friend's number on your phone though, because if you put your number on your phone, it's just gonna call itself. That's not really helpful. But if you put a friend's number on your phone, like a significant other or something like that, then when you wake up at 11 a.m. on Saturday with a hangover and a new tattoo in place of your keys and wallet, your girlfriend will get a call and she'll have been told exactly what you did. Good luck. Now, with your badge in hand, you can proceed to the dealer's room. The dealer's room is that aforementioned warehouse full of anime merch. I mean, it is stacked from floor to ceiling with figures and apparel and merch and snacks and games and anime and manga. I mean, anything that you could think of about anime. And assuming you set yourself a reasonable budget, I recommend roughly the price of a used car, you can begin to browse. I suggest making a list of everything that catches your eye. Then when you complete your escapade around the dealer's room, likely having trampled multiple small children in the process, you can figure out what's in your budget and what you want to buy first. At which point you'll realize that you forgot where you saw literally anything on your list, and then you'll just go onto Amazon and buy everything for half the price that you were expecting to spend in the dealer's room. Because everything that has ever been made by humans is on Amazon.
Got number 1 products at Amazon. Made out of Amazon drivers.
Make sure to thank your deodorant marine before leaving towards Artist's Alley. And I love the Artist Alley. It's the most unique part of the con and my personal favorite because it's like the dealer's room, but instead of people reselling stuff, it's artists who actually made everything that they're selling. So if you see awesome buttons or pins or plushies or crafts or some of the most amazing artwork you've seen in your life, the person sitting there at the booth actually made that. I always make a point of going around to every single booth in the Artist Alley because you never know when you're going to see that stuff again. In fact, you're going to have to go to another con and hope that the artist is there. But in the dealer's room, like I said, you can just go on Amazon. So, go to the Artist Alley, look around, support some artists, and tell them that their art is cool. Next up, panels. Let's talk about it. You probably picked a convention at least based in part on the guests who are going to be there, and guests can be anybody from cosplayers to content creators to actors to even just people who know a lot about Japanese culture and want to share what they know. And a panel is the perfect way to interact with those people. And they have panels for everything. If you want to learn how to make cosplay, they have a panel for that. If you want to do Anime Jeopardy, they have a panel for that. If you want to do cosplay karaoke, they have a panel for that too. And if you want to sit around in a room with a bunch of dudes at 2 a.m. in the morning watching hentai, they always have a panel for that. And they probably have a panel for the one guest that you came to see, so you should make a plan on attending that. They really do have panels for everything. Like, I went to a Truth or Dare panel one time where there was a man in a horse mask, and then another man was dared to do a pee-pee favor on the man in the horse mask. And he did it. There was no prize for this. I don't know why he did it. And speaking of guests, there is usually a guest area where you can not only meet, but also greet the guest you came to see. Beyond that, you can have them take a picture with you if you want, or even get an autograph. In fact, they even have prints at the booth for you to buy so that they can sign them for you. I do recommend if you want to do any of this, it's pretty expensive, so upgrade your budget from the price of a used car to the price of a new car. Now, something a little bit more European? Yeah, that looks about right.
Shut up and take my money!
Finally, there's a game room. You'll see really cool arcade cabinets from Japan, plenty of fighting game setups, even a Rock Band setup, and I'd recommend playing just a little bit of DDR if you get the chance. Just make sure that you play with a friend, because otherwise you're going to be slaughtered by a 12-year-old whose tiny legs seem to somehow be an advantage. Play a fighting game while you're there too. But just because you beat your friend, don't think you're good at the game, because then you're going to actually try to do the tournament that the con is hosting, and you're going to get absolutely slaughtered by some dude who's actually good at the... Is that the same 12-year-old who slaughtered you in DDR? How in the f...
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
All right. I think you've earned yourself some actually helpful advice now, because cons really are a matter of survival. I've seen people go through heat stroke, I've seen people be poisoned, I've seen people forget to eat for an entire weekend, and yes, I have seen people plunge themselves into credit card debt for waifus. And yes, I do remember I said there was an unexpected reason why a nerd like me goes to a con, and I'll share that if you make it through the tips. Sound like a deal? Number 1.
Don't do anything stupid till I get back.
First of all, actually room with people that you trust. I know that rooms get expensive and you're gonna wanna just fill it up with that random dude from Discord because you need the money for the room. Don't do that, okay? Cons are exhausting and it's going to be a long weekend. A lot of fun, but it's gonna be a long weekend and you're gonna wanna be there with somebody who you can literally live with for a few days. Don't spend all your money. Set a budget. Like I said, I've seen people plunge themselves into financial debt, and honestly, going into deep credit card debt over waifus is what Genshin is for. Next up, try not to get punched in the throat by a cosplayer. It's actually really easy, but people seem to be kind of bad at this one. Basically, if you want a picture of somebody, ask them for a picture. If you meet a hot girl in cosplay, don't expect anything, if you know what I mean.
The goal to give my life purpose is melons!
No, bad Denji. You want to know what happened to the last guy to try to touch melons?
A testicle devil appeared and went apeshit on his nutsack!
Huh. Yes. And bring stuff to sustain yourself for a few days, and this includes water, snacks, and painkiller. Convention food is really expensive. Sometimes you're not going to want to buy it, but you need to eat. So bring your own food. It's probably a good idea. And if you forget everything else on this list, do not take substances from other people. And a final piece of advice, wear comfy shoes. Your feet are going to be killing you at the end of the convention, even if you wear comfy shoes, and you don't want them to be like falling off by the end of the convention, so wear shoes, please. And I think that's about it. No, deodorant. Oh my God, please, it's not that, oh, please, for the love of God, wear deodorant. And here's my biggest piece of advice. Talk to people. Make friends, because conventions are a space for you to get excited and talk to people who are just as nerdy as you are, and we so rarely get the opportunity to do that, so take advantage of it. In fact, most of my best friends now are people that I met through cons, and I love them more than anything. So that's what cons are really about. People. And I guess the real treasure is the friends we made along the way.